नाम हो, जमात दावा का नाम हो और फिर उसके अंदर जब अमेरिका भी शामिल हो जाता है, जब वो हेड मनी लगाता है मिलियंस ऑफ डॉलर्स की, तो पाकिस्तान के अंदर लोग सवाल ये पूछते हैं कि भारत अभी तक 66 साल हो चुके हैं, वो शायद पाकिस्तान को तस्लीम नहीं करता, वो बाज़ उन नज़रियात को तस्लीम नहीं करता, उन लोगों को तस्लीम नहीं करता जिनका रोल है पाकिस्तान बनाने में, जो पाकिस्तानियों के हीरोज़ हैं। लेकिन आज के इस प्रोग्राम के अंदर हम इससे थोड़ा सा आगे जाने की कोशिश करेंगे, इस तरह से कि हम पसंद करें या न करें, भारत, हिंदुस्तान, इंडिया बहरहाल हमारा नेबर है और हमारा नेबर रहेगा। हमारे यहाँ आमतौर पर यूनिवर्सिटीज़ में कोशिश नहीं होती इस नेबर को पढ़ने की, सिर्फ ये बताया जाता है कि इंडिया जो है इट्स एन एनिमी कंट्री। कितना एनिमी है, क्या वहाँ पे हमारे दोस्त हैं या नहीं है, क्या हमारे अपनी नेबर्स के साथ दोस्ती हो सकती है या नहीं हो सकती। और एक ऐसी फ़ज़ा में जब तैयारी की जा रही है जहनों की कि जब भी एरिया खुलेगा, सेंट्रल एशिया तक सड़कें जाएंगी, मिडल ईस्ट तक सड़कें जाएंगी, तो पाकिस्तान इंडिया की ट्रेड बढ़ेगी। लेकिन जो चीज़ है वो ये है कि जो दिलों के अंदर वो जो नफरत है या एक दूसरे के बारे में शक व शुबात है, वो कितना जेन्युइन है। आज मेरी बात बीटी राजशेखर साहब से होगी। ये बहुत बड़ा अखबार इंडिया का दलित वॉइस, उसके एडिटर हैं। इससे पहले बड़ा अखबार है इंडियन एक्सप्रेस, उसके साथ मुंसलिक रहे हैं। इंडिया को सोसाइटी उन चंद लोगों में से हैं जो बहरहाल हमारे से बहुत ज़्यादा जानते हैं। राजशेखर साहब, थैंक यू वेरी मच फॉर जॉइनिंग मी। You know, my first question when I studied India as a subject was that we know now India is the largest democracy in the world, and a lot of weight has been given, to this mantra about India and democracy. 1947, before that, history tells us that India was never a country, as we know as a nation state.
Never a nation.
Never a nation or nation state the way we know as nation state. It was a combination of so many princely states and rajas and maharajas. How come Indians today believe that they are a nation state and not different people?
That's because they are not read the Constitution of India. The Constitution of India says, India, how the Constitution begins. India, that is Bharat, is a union of states. That's how it is described. There is no mention of the word nation in the whole Constitution of India. Later on, during the emergency, Indira Gandhi brought about an amendment and introduced the word nation. That comes very much below. And that has now become the slogan. But India is not a nation, but a union of states. That is how it is described. Even today, India is a union of states. Nation is entirely different. It has got a definition, a connotation, a denotation. A nation means when you suffer, I must suffer with you. When you enjoy, I must enjoy with you. That's the definition.
So how genuine is this union? Do you think it's a genuine union which is arising out of different states of India and they feel equal?
The great writer Neeraj Chaudhary, in his book, is called Million Mutinies. That's the title of his book. What's going on in India is million mutinies. Only other day in Uttarakhand, people went in search of God. Thousands died. And nobody bothered about it. Killing, murder, rape is going on every part of India. And there is no...
By the state authorities?
State authorities or non-state authorities. But nation means when you suffer, I must suffer with you. Nobody has suffered. So India, to describe India as a nation is not philosophically correct. It is not ethnically correct. And it is also not geographically correct.
But now, the concept of India, which is being sold to the world, it is through Bollywood, it is through its development and its progress in computer technology, and also, a power which is emerging as a nation state. So when you talk about Indians, those almost close to 1 billion Indians, do you think that they are partners in this progress?
They are not. See, they have a ruling class had been formed in India. That ruling class comprises the upper caste. There's a caste system in India.
The Brahmins.
Brahmins, the Banyas, and the other landed gentry, that the ruling class, they form 15% of the Indian population. And that is slowly expanding. It is not more than 15 to 20%. The rest of the population live as, for example, I take about my own community, the untouchables of India. They continue to be untouchables. Tribals continue to be tribals. About 4 months back, I had been to the northeast of India. Northeast of India is completely separated from India. Bangladesh comes in between. It's under permanent military rule.
In Assam?
Not Assam. Meghalaya, Manipur, Arunachal Pradesh, Nagaland, some 4 or 5 states, they are permanently under military rule.
So if there is no military rule, would they like to be independent out of India? They don't want to be with India?
No. They have not made that demand at all, because they are a ferocious people. They are Mongoloid tribals. They are not ethnically Indian. They are afraid that they may break. I attended their conference, 3-day conference in Manipur. Nobody has made a demand about separation or going away.
What is their demand? Why there is a state action then? Why there is state suppression?
The ruling class is afraid because it's close to China. The northeast India is close to China. And Arunachal Pradesh has been already claimed by China. So they are afraid that they may do something closer relationship with China. That's only the ruling class is afraid of it. That's all, nothing else.
The fear, what you're saying, the fear is that they might support or side with the Chinese rather than the Indians.
They're already physically separated.
So would you see the similar thing happening in Kashmir, where there is a fear in that ruling class that tomorrow Kashmiris might not want to be in India, and that is why we say state persecution in Kashmir?
That fear is there among the ruling class, because even the present chief minister, who is born to a white woman from London, and his wife again is British, even he is also not very happy. He has said it, he is not very happy with it. The Kashmiris are totally alienated. Totally alienated. I had been to Kashmir at least 2-3 times. I had talked to them. Alienation is there, but it is suffering is too much, poverty.
But do the people, the question I would like to ask is, do people in North India, for example, in Punjab, and in Haryana, in Chandigarh, do they know, one, about what the Indian state is doing in Manipur or in Nagaland or in Assam? And similarly, do the people of Assam, Manipur, Nagaland know what's happening in Kashmir? Or do the people in South, in Kerala, and Tamil Nadu, they know what's actually happening up north in the country? Do they know that?
They do not know. By and large, they do not know, because the media in India is very tightly controlled. The English-knowing population in India is not even 5%.
The English-speaking.
English-knowing, reading, writing, speaking. When you know English, it means not merely speaking. Your butler will be knowing English. That doesn't mean he knows English. Knowing a language means reading, writing, speaking. So, those who know reading, writing, speaking, that will be 3%.
This is right, Shekhar. Then, all those surveys, all those media reports, and they're international media reports, when they say that India is not only the largest democracy, it is also the largest English-speaking country in the world. That is all nonsense.
See, who is to refute it? Who is to refute? India is the largest democracy, the largest English-speaking state. There should be somebody to refute it. Who will refute? Who has got the courage to refute it? And who has got the knowledge and the wherewithal? And even if you refute it, who is going to publish it?
That's very interesting. नाज़रीन, छोटी सी ब्रेक लेते हैं और ब्रेक बाद जब वापस आएंगे तो हम जानने की कोशिश करेंगे राजशेखर साहब से कि जो इनकी ओपिनियन है अबाउट इंडिया, बिकॉज जैसा मैंने कहा कि हमारे मुल्क में इंडिया की सिर्फ एक पिक्चर है, वो आमतौर पे हमारी इस्टेब्लिशमेंट की तरफ से आती रही है. हम लोग अपनी यूनिवर्सिटीज़ के अंदर कॉलेजेस में अपने इन नेबर्स के बारे में उतना नहीं जानते. लेकिन ये बातें एक ब्रेक के बाद. वो इसके एडिटर हैं, इंडिया से ताल्लुक़ है, पाकिस्तान भी आते रहते हैं, लेकिन ये इंटरव्यू हम उनके साथ इंग्लैंड में कर रहे हैं. Rajshekar sir, another thing, again, before we move on to the other subjects, when you say that these Brahmins control India.
I didn't say Brahmin. Brahminism. Because there are other communities. The Brahmins, the Banyas, and the landed gentry. These are the three communities mainly.
And we are made to understand in Pakistan that they have still not admitted in their hearts and mind Pakistan as an independent country. And that is why, there is still animosity between the two countries. We do not want to live as good neighbors. Wars have happened. What is the feeling now? Because we see that the youth in India, through the media, is being told about Pakistan's bad deeds, Mumbai, Parliament attack, as if we are the bad guys. What is the feeling on the ground? Do they know that Pakistan is an enemy?
No. They do not know anything about it. They cannot read or they cannot write. For them, getting a stomach full of food once a day itself is a great thing. How can they be worried about Pakistan? They don't know where it is. They are illiterate, poor. They are illiterate because they are poor. So 60% of the population is unaware of what is happening in India itself, not about Pakistan. So all the things are artificially created opinion by the elite class, 15%, as I said earlier. They control, because I am a senior journalist of the country, an English-speaking journalist, I work in English papers. Even with me, they are not happy.
Media is controlled in India?
Completely controlled.
Who controls it?
The owners. Owners are mostly Banyas. For example, Indian Express is owned by the Banyas. Hindustan Times is owned by the Birlas, Banyas. Times of India is owned by the Sahujains, again Banyas. And what other papers? These are the three important papers. Other papers are all completely upper caste. The oppressed sections of the population, particularly the Muslims, have no English media. They have got only Urdu or some local Malayalam, that type of media they are having. Media is very strictly controlled because they don't want any information to go to percolate out the oppressed people.
And what do these people think about the large majority of Indians who are Dalits, who are untouchables? What is their feeling or, aspirations towards them? Do they actually want them, all those, close to a billion, almost a billion plus people, do they want them to be Indians progressing, making money?
Since you are a Muslim, any amount of my explaining to you will not be able to understand. A Hindu is a peculiar animal. A Hindu. It gets pleasure in somebody else's suffering. Have you come across such a creature anywhere?
That is a very strong statement to make, Mr.
It gets a pleasure. See, Bombay city has got hundreds of slums. I have gone and seen in the slums where when there's rainwater, the whole body is in the water, whole body. Only the head is on a stone, he sleeps. The people living in slums, villages, young women having no saris to wear. They are all suffering. They know it. But that suffering.
Do you think India has always been like that? India was not, the image of India, which if you read history, why the British went there, why the Europeans went there, they went for the money. India was not that poor. Indians were not that poor at that time.
It was not. It was not. Even when I went to Delhi, immediately after 51 or so, when I went to Delhi, Connaught Place was so nice. The Parliament House was so nice. Delhi used to be very, particularly the New Delhi. Now it's all slum. Bombay city is slum. Madras has become slum. Calcutta is called a dead city. Calcutta was the first capital. Bangalore, they called it the garden city of India. Now it has become dead. Cities where the upper caste people, ruling class will live, is dying.
So the India which we see in Indian media, like Bollywood is the biggest media in India, the televisions, the soap, the dramas, all women done up, made up, rich people, cars, that is a fake picture?
Fake picture. Once in a way they'll introduce something here and there as a what is called as a masala here and there to get a better taste. But by and large, it can't be hidden. You come to Bombay city, you'll know it. Whole Bombay, Flora Fountain, have you got any idea of Bombay? There's a place called Flora Fountain. It is such a, I was when I was in Indian Express, Bombay. Now it is dirty. The Marine Drive has become dirty. The Malabar Hill, the abode of the richest of the people, has become dirty. So it's collapsing, But they are not worried about it because they have got one foot in London and the foot in America. If something happens in India, they will say 1 foot here, 1 foot is in. Just if you raise 1 foot in India.
So suggesting that the multi-billionaire rich Indians, they do not think about India first?
If they have been thinking about India, why we are in such a serious situation now? There is a community, scheduled caste, as it is addressed in the Constitution of India. They form 20% of the Indian population. They are only making a song and dance about reservations and implementation of all these things. But nothing has been done. Tribals, still worse because they live in forests and hills. Okay. Scheduled caste is scheduled 20 plus 10, 30%. There is another community called the backward caste, OBC, which is equally bad, but I mean very seriously Hinduized.
What's the capacity of the Indian government, whether it's union government or it's the government of the states, to bring people to at least a human level where they are considered equal? Do you think it can happen?
No. You see, the Hindus, upper caste people look in this way. Only if you keep them down under oppression, we will be safe. If these people come up, they will demand a share in the government, they'll put their hand into our pocket and there will be a problem. Keep them as hungry dogs, throw them some meat here and there. This is the typical mentality. Dr. Ambedkar has written about it. Allama Iqbal has written about it. Jinnah has said about it. All great thinkers and scholars have said about it. I am not the first person to say.
But Gandhi actually wanted, in India where everybody would live as an independent, equal Indian.
Yes. That's why they selected him as Mahatma, elevated him. What did Dr. Ambedkar has, we call him the father of India. He has passed the most caustic comments against Gandhi. Gandhi has you are getting a distorted picture about Gandhi.
Another picture about which I want to talk is that as long as the Nehrus and the Gandhis were ruling India, we used to hear that because they were educated abroad, Nehru studied here, Gandhi studied here, Indira studied in Switzerland. So once that generation is gone, India has gone to the Indians. And now the way you're saying is that they are only thinking about themselves and not the billion-plus Indians.
There is no chance of a revolution in India.
Why?
Revolution is possible only when there is people participate in revolution. Here, you belong to one caste, I belong to another caste, he belongs to another caste, he belongs to another caste. So there will be no unity. There is no unity. There is no unity in the country.
But they participate in the elections. They participate in the democratic process.
Only election. But even in the election, a big landlord or a big businessman, he will prevent the votes from putting, and he will purchase the votes or something will do. That is going on in the villages even now. It's going on. So parliamentary democracy has not been successful, but they've been managing through the media and their Brahminical temples.
What do you think about this gentleman who is now coming up, and there is talk that he might now become the leader of the BJP?
Rahul Gandhi?
No, the BJP.
Oh, that man.
Narendra Modi.
Narendra Modi.
And what has happened in Gujarat with Muslims?
Yes.
How do you see him?
He belongs to backward caste. Oil crushing fellow. I don't know what you call Teli. He's a Teli. But he's an RSS volunteer from the very beginning. And RSS has sponsored him. All the Hindu religious leaders are very happy about him. All the capitalists of India they love him. The media loves him. That is because the problem is this hate mongering. Muslims are the enemies. Not only Muslims of India.
What about the Christians?
Christians are, after finishing the Muslims, then the Christians will be. Earlier 6 have been finished during the Blue Star. But there are more Muslims living in India than in Pakistan.
And do you think that it will be possible for them to eliminate all Muslims?
No, impossibility. India is a diverse country. Different climates, different food, different dress. It's a big zoo. So, they live in their own dreamland, So much so what is happening is, China which became independent. I led 3 delegations. I was the leader of the delegation to China also. I was the president of India-China Friendship Association. China galloped. Today it is number 2 country in the world after America. And any time it may become number 1. How?
But there are hopes in India as well that India will become, a really powerful country in the world.
Who has said it? They only may be talking about it. The world international authorities have not said it. See, to become strong, there are so many conditions. For example, defense. Our defense is very weak. The morale of the people, and then Indian army is caste-based. That you must remember. Your army is not caste-based. Caste-based means all Jawans are from the low caste.
And all officers are
upper caste people. Most of them are vegetarians. And they ill-treat the Jawans. And it's not, the Indian army is not cohesive. All these things.
But they listen to their government.
What?
They listen to the government. Whatever actions they are taking in Kashmir or in the east of the country,
they are doing it, but not very well. There is too much of corruption inside the army now. It is coming out now, and they got defeated. China gave one kick in 1950 or 52. You know what has happened, and China is very strong on the borderline. And Pakistan and India, we had a fight. And Bangladesh, what has happened, the whole thing has been done with the help of the Mufti Bahini.
Let me take a very short break. और नाज़रीन इसमें वापस आते हैं तो वो चीज़ें जो बिल्कुल डायरेक्टली अब इंडिया और पाकिस्तान के ताल्लुकात के बारे में है, चाहे वो ये ख्वाहिश हो कि दोनों मुल्क एक दूसरे के साथ मिल के बैठें और उसके दरमियान बाज़ जो ऐसे इनिशिएटिव्स हैं कि दोनों मुल्कों के दरमियान अमन हो, और फिर साथ साथ इस तरह के इल्ज़ाम कि पाकिस्तान जो है वो कहीं गंदा खेल खेल रहा है हिंदुस्तान में, या हिंदुस्तान जो है वो गंदा खेल खेल रहा है बलूचिस्तान और केपी के अंदर और अफगानिस्तान के अंदर। ये बातें एक छोटी सी ब्रेक की बात है। What we are discussing, in the last part, I actually specifically want to discuss about certain maybe facts, half truths, and some efforts. We know that there are groups within India, whether they are media groups in Pakistan, and also governments who are trying to talk about peace, about Aman. Do you think that these things should not be done?
See, there are, as I said earlier, there are more Muslims in India than in Pakistan. And with Muslims, we have got very, very close relationship. Very rarely we get these anti-Muslim riots here and there. But I am not able to understand these people sponsoring this, what is called friendship with Pakistan, in the guise of the Aman Ki Asha and all the things. I said it in Pakistan when I was there, that the Aman Ki Asha is a sponsored program by the Indian ruling class.
How can you say that? Sponsored means they're providing the money?
Everything they have provided, they're going down, all high fashion women, girls going down and talking. The India-Pakistan unity or movement has to be done by the people at the grassroots level. At the grassroots level, there is no enmity between the two. As I said, India has more Muslims. Okay, then why these people are having this Aman Ki Asha program? I am not able to understand it. We are having, there are dargahs, there are Muslims, everything is going on. There is no problem at all in India.
But if we just leave just that one Aman Ki Asha program, because it basically translates into a desire for peace. So if, for example, you're bringing your delegations into Pakistan, Pakistani delegations, but different groups go to India, and try that both these countries should start talking to each other.
That we try should be at the people-to-people level, not at the sponsored group level. Because that arouses some sort of a... in Pakistan also, they were asking me, what is this Aman Ki Asha and from where it came? On one side, they are spitting fire against Pakistan. On the other side, in the same breath, they are talking about friendship with Pakistan. So which one is true? So, but I can tell you this much, I can tell you, things will not remain like this.
Will they change for better?
Change for the better will be there. Big developments in Pakistan, big developments in Pakistan, big developments in China, big developments in the neighborhood of India and Pakistan, and America going down and China coming up.
So my last question would be, Rajshekhar Saab, that India is a huge country, billion plus people, and we do not see, a leader in India. There might be many politicians now. There is not one leader who can bring the country together. At a time when the world is changing so fast around India, and India is part of that as well, how significant is that India does not have a leader who can bring the country together? Modi is not the leader of India. Congress does not have a leader. Rahul Gandhi still is not sure of himself. Manmohan Singh is not the leader of India. He's just running India as a government. So how significant is that at a time where India has to play a very important role in world history now?
Yes, leadership means a leader has to be elected by all sections of the population. Here, only 10-15% of the population only are counted. Rest of them, his job is only to vote and say yes and shout yes. So India does not have a very practical parliamentary democracy. It has failed. So it will go on in this what you call violence. And Narendra Modi is the one. See, as soon as he became the chief minister, he attacked the Muslims and, thousands were Muslims.
Muslim is one, but then you have other minorities. Sikhs are a minority. Dalits are a majority, but they do not have participation in the government.
Sikhs have been co-opted.
They have been co-opted.
Yeah.
What about the Dalits?
Dalits don't know anything. They're poor and illiterate.
And you don't see any future for them?
There was no past. How can there be future? Illiterate. They simply die. There is no leadership. Dr. Ambedkar was there, he died. There is no leadership. They say, oh, we have got separate reservation for scheduled castes and scheduled tribes. Reservation did not help them. There is a participation. Participation is not permitted. See, India is a very peculiar. Nothing is publicized in the country. The Western media is hiding. Western media is hiding. Western media may highlights about what's happening in Egypt, in Syria, and Lebanon, and Iraq, Afghanistan. But why they are silent? They are silent. In the course of my visit, I want
you
to
think India is worse situation than these countries?
Yes. That is because the top upper caste people have infiltrated the media here and in the United States. Business people.
Thank you very much.
Yes, good.
Thank you very much. और नाज़रीन, हमारी कोशिश थी, एक ओपिनियन हो सकती है, लेकिन ये ओपिनियन जो है ये रिप्रेजेंट करती है मिलियंस एंड मिलियंस ऑफ दोज इंडियंस जिनका इंडिया की इस वक्त हायरार्की के अंदर, उनकी पॉलिटिक्स के अंदर कोई रोल नहीं है. राजशेखर साहब समझते हैं कि उनका शायद आने वाले दिनों में भी कोई रोल नहीं होगा. आज के प्रोग्राम का वक्त खत्म होता है. इजाज़त दीजिए. खुदा हाफिज़.